About if flirting is cheating. I have my lovely cast here. I'm gonna start to my left. What's up, guys? It's Chrissy. And to my right,
Rico Hundo, and I'm here with my boy. Drumroll, please. So
I have a daughter. She's 8 years old, and I work for city government.
the guest.
what do you think? Is flirting cheating?
So I think it's tricky. I think it's like a multi-layered topic. While I don't think that is cheating, I definitely think that it can be the gateway to cheating.
Right.
It depends on what your intentions are. So if I'm flirting, using my pretty girl privilege to get out of a ticket, I have no desire to really be with that person. I'm just trying to use it to my advantage. But if I'm jumping in somebody's DMs, if I'm approaching you like that with the intention to be a different end result, then yes, I think it does become cheating because you have a goal.
Right. Has anyone ever flirted in front of you while you guys were together and made you uncomfortable?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That definitely has happened. It didn't happen again, but
But what made it so you were uncomfortable? Were they trying to get out of a situation or benefit from something?
no. It literally was just a flirty banter with another woman in my face, which I think is just completely disrespectful.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
So the flirt.
Hey guys, welcome. Listen, we're on Dark Arts podcast today. So listen, it's a special live. I've blended it with my little black book, but it's a Dark Arts podcast, all right? I'm where the danger lies today. Listen, today's topic we're talking about is flirting is flirting a problem in a relationship? Let me tell you this now. If your girl flirts with other men, she isn't your girl. Okay? I want you to understand something, right? Respect is a big, big thing. Now, many people have very bad boundaries. I was one of them, and I'm growing to be better in my boundaries, okay? Many people have very bad boundaries. And one of the bad boundaries that people have is that their need for validation supersedes the need for security in a relationship. So they're secure in a relationship, but because they need validation, they're willing to flirt with outside parties in order for their self-esteem and their self-worth to remain intact. Right? You'd think that obviously them being loved by somebody would be great. But people tend to step outside of the relationship, flirt, emotionally, I would like to say emotionally cheat, micro cheating, to get their fill of feeling good and feeling like they are still sexy, still nice. Now, some people might minimalize this behavior and say it's just flirting, it's not going anywhere. I'm here to tell you, if your girl is out here flirting with other men, she's not your girl. Okay? She's not your girl. All right? Let me tell you why she's not your girl. All right? Flirting is the gateway to absolute madness that's going to come next. Now, many people will scream and say, you know what, I flirt, but I don't take it any further. I flirted and I've never cheated before. You've already cheated by flirting, my girl. But flirting is that gateway. Here's why I'm going to say flirting is that gateway really, really quickly. I'm going to play the video and review more of it, right? Flirting is the Trojan horse that you didn't know has entered into your village, and the little minions are going to jump out that horse and suddenly take over the city, okay? Flirting is Israel going around Jericho 6 times, and on the 7th time are about to shout, and the walls of Jericho are about to come down, okay? Flirting is oftentimes sexual innuendos that are for very clever people who have the mindset to be able to receive what you're giving them. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Right? The whole point of flirting is meant to be subtle sexual cues. Okay? All right? It's meant to be subtle sexual cues. So when somebody flirts with you, okay, all right, they are sending out sexual cues. Hey, Portia, I appreciate you, babe. Good to see ya. And so when people flirt with you, okay, all right, most people have an angle. Now, even if they don't do anything after, right? You have to understand that sometimes, like I said, it's the walls of Jericho. It's not for today, it's for tomorrow. Some things are not for today, they are for tomorrow. Okay, all right? And even if nothing happens with that particular person, you have interacted with them and you've allowed your boundaries to slip. So if you slip here, you're probably going to slip somewhere else too. Okay, you have to think of it in that particular aspect. It may not be that particular person who you flirt with that something happens, but you're allowing your boundaries to be broken which means later on it's about to break down, right? Somewhere else. So it might not be him, but it might be someone tomorrow. Because the question is, why would you flirt over here and not think that you got a pattern of behavior that you're going to flirt over there? Okay. All right. So in the flirting aspect, there is what we call, I would like to say, a sexual innuendo or sexual subtleties that are fleshed out within that, okay, as well. So that's all I'm going to say. All right. Now, some people do flirt because they want to be able to draw you in. Okay. Some people want to flirt because, it makes them feel nice. Some people flirt for the game. Okay. They want to see if they can get you. That's all. They don't care about actually sleeping with you. They just want to see if they can get you. All right. Now, but the problem with that is this. If they're flirting to see if they can get you, you've got an ego. That's the first mistake. An ego will blind you and pride will blind you. And before you know it, pride cometh before a fall. You think you're good until you're fallen. So, like I said, it's not about always that person right in front of you. It's not for today. Sometimes it's tomorrow. I told you already, Israel were marching around Jericho on 6 different days. Day 1, they were flirting. Day 2, they were flirting. Day 3, they were flirting. Day 4, they were flirting. Day 5, they were flirting. Day 6, they were flirting. The Lord said, listen, on the 7th day, don't mention it. Don't talk. One mighty shout as you walk around 7 times. That will finish the wall. The wall came crumbling down. What does that tell us? It tells us this, that sometimes what ends up happening, okay, is that it's the walking around is an idea flirting around the outskirts of your boundaries. Today it's not a problem. Tomorrow it's not a problem. Wednesday is not a problem. Thursday is not a problem. Friday is not a problem. Saturday is not a problem. But Sunday, because someday somebody will be able to knock those walls down because you don't guard your boundaries very well. Yeah? But let's get into the video. Let's have a little listen to this. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. Today is a special live. We're doing a Dark Arts podcast. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, make sure you go and subscribe to it. I will send you a link for it as well. But make sure you guys go and subscribe to that channel because we'd love to able to hear your perspective. And we'd love to have you guys on the new channel where I do more videos like this, right? Where it's a bit more different to the LBB where I'm doing more psychological breakdowns, okay? All right, so we're going to get into this. Let's play a little bit more of this clip and see what the ladies and the gents were saying about flirting. I'm going to tell you this now. For me personally, don't do it, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I will tell you the truth. People like me that were in Egypt were waiting for you to do it. Don't do it. If you're in a relationship, don't flirt. Don't do it, okay?
Dirty banter if you're not in the man's face is cool.
No, that's still this, and this is not just for a man flirting with another woman. It's the same thing with a woman flirting with another man. If you know you're in an exclusive relationship, why are you in somebody else's face?
I mean, for a man, there is no category of when you should flirt or not. If we catch our woman flirting, it's an issue. If you tell me I flirted so you don't got to get a ticket, I'm gonna tell you take the ticket. You should have been driving better. Because I'm not dealing with you taking time to flirt with nobody and then come and tell me that there's some type of reason upon why you did it. Because if I'm flirting with a female, you already know it's intentions of it going down. It ain't no playing around with you.
But if that's your intentions and that's your intentions, you can't speak for what my intentions are.
I'm not.
Now let's pause it right there. This debate is very interesting. Now the conversation is this, okay? Let's say, for instance, is it different to flirt for a ticket? You got a ticket, you flirted to get out of it, okay? Or maybe at work, maybe at work and you're flirting with your boss or whatever, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Let me tell you something. How you do something is how you do everything. Hello, somebody? How you do something is usually how you do everything. Yeah? So if you flirt here, more than likely you flirt there. Okay? Right? So you got to be very, very careful. Okay? Now, I love that comment there by Rose saying a compliment is different from, a sexual compliment. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Right? And sometimes, but a compliment sometimes isn't necessarily the compliment that's an issue. It's a tone. And when someone's giving you a look. Do you know how we know? No. Do you know how women know when someone's flirting with them? Let me tell you how they know. When the ugly guy that you don't like, okay, says something slightly out of pocket, you straight away, you cringe inside. You cringe inside. This is why so women can never play they don't know, and men can never play they don't know, right? Even if there's a tone situation, you'll pick it up, right? Look, you see women that the guy that they absolutely hate, he's a creep. If he says even, you look nice, oh my God, oh. All of a sudden you're like, why do you tense up? You don't even want him to even compliment you. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So more than likely you're going to pick up, even if it's a tone that is sounding even if there's a hint of sexuality, even if there's a hint of them even liking you, you're going to shut it down. Yeah, you gonna shut it down when you don't like that man, when you think he's ugly to you, when you think he's a bit of a creep. Yeah, I'm telling you, you've been thinking, you shut it down. Yeah, Jeremy, no, thank you. Right? You shut it down or you avoid him. Why? In itself, because you understand you don't want to even give him an inch. No, can we pay attention to this? That guy you think is a creep, a nasty, or whatever, even if he compliments, it's not a flirt, he's complimenting. You want to shut it down. Why? You don't even want to give him a breathing air space that he can even think he's got a chance. Why? He's not flirting with you. He's simply making a compliment. So why can't you take it? Because you don't even want him to breathe the same air you're breathing. That lets you know that women do know how to hold very good boundaries, just as men do. We're talking about women today, or just as much as men do. So when you pretend as if no, it's not a flirt, he's not. You know when he's ugly to you, you don't even want him to be near you. You shudder. Okay, all right. He's in the creep book, yeah, and anything he does is creepy, even if it's a compliment. It's like I gotta shut it down. I don't even want him to get the wrong idea. Why would you not, if he compliments you, why would you not want him to get the wrong idea? Oh, because people do get the wrong idea, even though. Okay. So people, you know what I mean? Okay. Let's continue.
But I'm speaking from how your intentions affect me if I'm involved with you.
Different.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
so for me, I feel as if flirting can go too far. So if I'm flirting with someone, for example, if I'm flirting with one of you and then down the road, one of you meet my man or something, I now feel like an inner embarrassment. Like, I don't want you to think that, you have a chance with me in a way. And I don't want my man to feel like he has to be, on edge when he's around people that I've been flirting with or giving the wrong impression to. So in a way, I feel like flirting can go too far and can, make relations seem like more than what they really are. So I feel like in a way, you just shouldn't be flirting with people. Like joking and flirting are two different things. I'm all for joking around and playing around. But when it comes to flirting, I always think of like, okay, if my man was doing this, I wouldn't like it. So I kind of feel like it's not cheating, but at the same time, it's just a form of disrespect.
Definitely.
Okay, so I think also as well, I want to be very clear though. That you have to be very clear. There is a difference between a compliment and obviously somebody actually flirting. Because someone can I can say a genuine, I'll be like, look, your hair looks really nice today. And keep it pushing. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I don't want to pretend and make that fake. There's literally the option where you can go, you know what, this looks fake. This you look pretty. That's it, and keep it moving. Right? There are those moments, and they really do exist. And I don't want to pretend to say they don't. They happen in the office. They happen at your, it happens out on the streets. Like things do happen like that, right? So in real life, there are real genuine compliments. Okay, but by the tone, the look, the body language, what is a compliment and what is them flirting. And when they flirt, it should be shut down. Here's for me. Flirting is a form of cheating. Now you can call it micro cheating, call it cheating all you want. Okay, all right. So for me personally, flirting is cheating. Okay, all right. It is cheating. Now, my thing is a compliment may be looked at as inappropriate, right? Maybe your partner doesn't like the fact that you compliment other women about their hair, right? She may find that inappropriate. Necessarily isn't cheating, but she may find it inappropriate. If that's the case, don't do it. Right? If your man says, listen, he doesn't like the fact that you compliment other mans and their trainers or whether their shoes or their shirt, don't do it because it's inappropriate to them. Right? And I think that's a fair bout. It's not cheating at that point. You're not flirting. You're just offering a genuine compliment. Maybe you're a nice person who offers genuine compliments. Right? That's very fine. But when it gets to a point when it's flirting, I think for me, it's cheating. Right? There's no two ways about it. It's just that it doesn't have the same magnitude of impact as of such as well, right?
It's a gateway to it.
I feel like every relationship I've ever been with a man, they've always said that I'm so friendly, it's considered flirting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I'm the type of person, like I'm gonna be like, hi, how are you? Like, so I feel as if, let's say I meet a celebrity and one day I wanna.
Now let's pause it right here. This, what she's about to say is interesting, right? This is very interesting. And I'll tell you why, because there is a issue. If you're a very pretty girl, friendliness can easily be looked at as flirting, right? Easily. Like, because of the fact that people do feel insecure. Let's just keep it a buck and let's keep it real, right? A friendly chat can be seen as flirting. But let's also be very clear. Some of those people who are very pretty also are not dumb. And you know exactly how you also come across. You know exactly how it also shifts that man that you're talking to, right? And I will talk about this a little bit later on about how we are able to see what people are willing to do for us when we haven't even got in a relationship with them, right? Just like men do, okay? Just like men do. Men know certain women that are willing to move and do things for them because they know they like them. But they'll be like, I didn't flirt, I didn't do anything. You probably didn't flirt, but you know that person likes you now. So you have every obligation not to try and use that person. Women do the exact same thing, right? They know a guy, they can know a guy likes them. They choose, and it's very strategic. Women are very strategic because they don't choose a guy that likes them that is very dangerous. They want to choose a guy that they likes them, that they believe they can control. And that if they know that their looks can impact that particular person, right? And they can get something out of them. Not all women, not all. Some women will do this. They will utilize that man because they know he's a snake, a grass snake, by the way. What I mean by that is harmless, but he will willingly do her bidding. Okay? So that's another aspect too, in that aspect there. This is real.
One day I want to work with him. You never know. Real shit, because I've done it before. Let's say one day if I come across a celebrity, I want to work with him. He might want to get in my pants, and he absolutely wants to get in my pants. But
now let's pause it. Let's pause it right there. That in itself is an issue. Okay? What she's talking about is what we call a deal with the devil. Oh, let me tell you something. You don't want to play with the devil. Oh, no. Listen to me carefully. Man or woman, okay? This is called a deal with the devil, okay? A deal with the devil simply is this. When you know somebody likes you, you are in a relationship, by the way. You're in a relationship. You know someone else likes you, okay? But because you're thinking about the future, okay? Everyone thinks about the future of how you can get something out of them. She's willing to ignore the fact that he likes her and his intentions. That is a deal with the devil. It will not end well because that person will want to get something from you. Now, I believe that women do this a lot. Personally, I think women do this a lot. And, do you know how we know? Because they ignore, they call certain boys their friends and they know for sure they are not your friend. There is nothing friendly about them. And you know it's not friendly. Okay? You know it's not friendly. There's nothing friendly about what that man is who to you. But because he offers something to you, maybe he's your emotional counselor. Maybe he's the money bag money, right? Maybe he cooks very well. Maybe he's your is your bodyguard. You know what I mean? Whenever you can grab him. Maybe because when you're friends with him, you get access to other people. Whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is. Okay, whatever it is, okay, you know his intention isn't to be your friend. At that point, that is what we call a deal with the devil. And the devil will always come to collect, okay, in some shape or some form. Don't put your relationship at risk for a deal with the devil. Someone else who doesn't have those intentions will come along eventually, but don't do a deal with the devil. Now, the reason why I believe this, that women are able to get away with this a lot of times is because of the way that they operate in the world. And I understand this. Women have had to learn how to almost flirt in order to be able to get through life because of the dangers of dealing with men physically. Like I will never deny that, right? Due to, and it's not patriarchy, it's simply the dynamics of men and women and us growing up in a world where men are physically stronger than women and are presenting a physical danger. There are some times where women will use their flirtation to get out of situations that are dangerous to them. I think it's a psychological generational thing that's passed on. It's a skill, okay? All right? So I'm not going to ever try to make it anything else. But you must know that when you do this in certain contexts, this is a deal with the devil. Don't do it. Okay?
I'm going to be nice to him, and you never know where I could get with that person.
But
You're not going to get where you want to get.
but that's why I think it's important if you're in a relationship, you need to discuss those boundaries before you even get serious with someone. Because
Absolutely.
what you could consider flirting, I might not. So I think it's important. I think it's important to discuss that with your partner before you even decide to get exclusive. Discuss what the boundaries are.
Vanessa, you're a grown.
I hear that. There is a need for boundaries here. There is a need for boundaries here. There's a need for boundaries here in the sense of understanding that somebody else's level is not your level. There are some people, rare as they may be, who are actually comfortable with their partner flirting. They don't care. Yeah? They're comfortable. And you know what? I am more for them. Because there are real people out there, men and women, who are actually very comfortable with their partner flirting. They get excited by it. It makes them feel alive. It makes a relationship sexy. There are people generally who are like that, and I'm not going to deny that at all. Okay, so there are genuine people who are like that as well. Yeah, no, none of that stuff. But I think the majority of people are not going to be comfortable with that particular behavior. Okay, I think the majority of people are not going to be comfortable with your partner actually flirting with others. Okay, I'm going to be actually okay with with that particular aspect, right? And that's cool. I get it. I think no side is necessarily wrong. If you're comfortable, fine. You know what I mean? If you're comfortable, we are happy to accommodate that. If you're not comfortable, we're not going to shame you either. Okay. As for me, I'm not comfortable. Okay, I'm not comfortable. And I don't want to be tested. I hear some videos where it's like, it's a test to see how manly you are. It's bullcrap. Okay, we are not in the ancient times of kings and queens. You are not going to war. Okay, you do not need to test a man to see how his manhood is. We don't need to see that. Okay, because man will get head chopped off in them times. We don't get man's head chopped off right now. It's not acceptable to cut someone's head off. You know what I'm saying to you, right? So let's leave that alone. Okay. Let's leave that alone. We are modern times, okay? I don't need to prove my manhood by trying to see if you can flirt and I'm going to be okay with it. No. Yeah? No. Although I do also understand that in the olden times, let's say when we had kings and queens and they were ruling the lands, right? When we had those kind of people, you would come to the queen and you would say very lovely compliments to the queen. You weren't flirting with the queen. You might say lovely compliments. I don't want people to confuse it. I was watching a video and old boy was talking about how they would flirt with the queen. I said, no, they weren't flirting with the queen. They might say nice things to the queen. Queen, you look beautiful. You're the fairest woman in the land. You are the benevolent woman in the queen. Your majesty and your beauty is beyond what we have seen in this land. Those are compliments. They are not flirting, my guy. Yeah? Flirting will get your head chopped off. Yeah? Flirting will get your head chopped off. Yeah? So let's not do the end things there. Yeah? Let's not do them things there, okay? It's dangerous, all right?
Grown-ass woman.
Here it goes.
You know when you flirt,
You know when you
Exactly. I know when I'm
As
flirting.
a grown-ass woman, you know what? There's no boundaries that need to be spoken about when it comes to flirting. We all know what flirting is.
But people are different, and that's the point that I'm making. You might take that offensive, somebody else might not care. So you can't speak generally for people. It has to be.
Let me ask you a question. I had to move over. I wanted to really look at you and ask you this question.
Chat.
When you drive fast, right?
Which I do, yes.
Which you do, right? You can get pulled over, correct?
Absolutely.
But you could also not get pulled over,
By not
right?
driving fast.
Or you can drive fast and not get pulled over. But the best way to do it is to not drive fast at all. So then you don't have any possible repercussions. See, my thing is anything that is disrespectful or could be seen potentially as disrespectful is cheating. Flirting, if you're flirting for financial gain, if you're flirting to get it out of a ticket, if you're flirting just because we're networking, and this is what I think, especially with what you're saying, women use flirting for business opportunities too much.
Does that go both ways or just like for women?
Men
You feel like
too.
you can.
Men don't really flirt. I mean, I can't say they
Y'all
don't.
flirt for your
But
braiders.
no.
I flirt on another level.
Y'all flirt for
He's
hairstyles.
talking about business opportunities. He's not talking about, we already know men flirt all day long.
Yeah.
But flirting for business opportunities, which I personally believe is always the scapegoat. Well, I don't know, he could possibly give me this gig or bring me over here, and I was just being in his music video. You know what I'm saying? But like my thing is, there's a way to conduct yourself when it comes to business. There's a way to
Absolutely.
conduct yourself no matter what the situation is, and flirting under any circumstances, for me, is not okay because I deem it as disrespectful.
Now, I would say this. I actually understand why some people might actually flirt in the workplace or flirt with may flirt, in terms of like business proposals, right? Like, or maybe you're one of the video vixens, or maybe you're doing some business. You might flirt. I do get where that idea comes from. My only thing is that you meet the right one, fantastic. But if you meet the wrong one, they're gonna take that as an invite, and that you're inciting them, right? Now, you don't want to get to a place where, for instance, maybe you're receiving gifts and it's getting a bit uncomfortable now, because maybe man hasn't, because you have to understand as well, whilst you may think you're playing the game of flirting, there are other men too who are very dangerous, who willingly will play the game with you, who will not say it directly what they're trying to do, but will relate back to you in the same way that you are relating to him. So he will flirt around the edges, but not make it bait so that you can't say no, right? So there's always an escape route. So that's the problem. That's one of the issues with when you're flirting and you are in a relationship, is that you meet the wrong one who also knows how to match your energy. You're in a very dangerous place. Because let's say, for instance, you flirted or whatever to get a business deal. Cool. Now he also then thinks to himself, I can buy you a very lavish gift, as to say we are celebrating this great friendship and business proposal, right? But it's something lavish. Now you may say, oh, I can't accept this. You know, what do you mean? We are business partners now. We are. Listen, the fact that we've disclosed this deal that's why I bought this gift for you. No. I do it for all my business clients. I do it for all my business partners. Don't worry about that. We are going to make millions with you. Now what are you gonna do? I can't take it. Why can't you take it? No, why can't you take it? So probably in the end you end up taking it, right? It's a Trojan horse, because it's the beginning of the boundaries being shifted and moved. You know what? We need to have a business meeting. We need a business meeting. Let's have dinner. We'll have a business meeting. Okay. Let's call it 7:00. We'll talk. Right. And again, I'm obviously using the most craziest environments, but the fact of the matter is, it doesn't even have to even be that. It could be, listen, see me at my desk at 4 p.m. and we'll go through some of the notes. But because you've already flirted to get into a certain position, and if he's smart as well in the way that he plays the game, he doesn't need to try and flirt hard with you. He's not going to try and do that. He's going to try and draw you in very slowly. He's going to pull you in to the game. You get what I'm saying to you? He's going to pull you into the game to get you involved. And that comes over time, right? So my last few words before I wanted to make sure that you guys also have the opportunity to join the conversation. It's a live one today. It is a Dark Arts podcast. So it's not on, this live will disappear on my channel. It will only be on Dark Arts podcast. So if you want to watch the replay, it'll be on Dark Arts podcast channel for you guys as well. Okay. So I want you guys to if you haven't already, subscribed to the channel, and we'll love to hear you guys as well. Okay. But it's an open panel. I want to open it up as well for you guys. So if you have some thoughts around flirting, I see you, Elsid. If you have some thoughts, okay, around this, they would love to hear your perspective. So if you want to join the conversation, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Join the Dark Arts podcast channel as well down below, so you can see that. Okay, I'll put a link in there as well, so you can do that. Okay, yeah, so there we go. I'll put it in there so you can see it. All right, cool. Let me just link this so it's pinned. All right, so if you have an opinion, you have a thought, if you feel like you have an opinion to contribute towards this, I would love for you guys to come and have a conversation and join the conversation my last little bit, and then we're gonna get Elsid on, and anybody else wants to join.
It's cheating to me. I'll get $100 to pay that ticket, or give you the $100 to pay that ticket, whatever it costs.
So if you're out at a club, right, and you about to buy bottles or whatever, and this guy says, that woman is beautiful, I just want to send her a bottle and go about my way, and she gives a little smile or like a thank you or whatever, and
Thank
tries
you.
to, yeah, okay, so
Thank you was cool.
Okay, but
Goodbye.
You're not accepting the bottle? Is accepting the bottle a form of cheating?
No, because she.
How?
Okay, this is a really interesting conversation. Maybe I'll drop this on Saturday or next week as well. This is an interesting conversation, right? Is accepting a bottle classing as flirting? I personally, first of all, here's my thing. I don't like it, but it's not flirting. I'll be honest with you. I don't see it as flirting, right? Like, there are many men who will buy your girl a bottle, right? They think your girl's pretty. They might buy a bottle. Now, if they see you there and you saw him and he still bought a bottle and bypassed you, that Negro is dangerous. Okay? All right? If he saw you at the table or saw you and knew, and you can kind of see that you're together and he still bought her a bottle, he kind of dangerous, okay? He kind of dangerous, okay? You need to be careful of that kind of dude, okay? And again, I think if your girl's alone with her girls, let me tell you this now, man, them, don't get stressed at this, right? Women are going to go out, man, them are going to buy them drinks. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying to you? It is what it is, okay? They normally do that, right? They might buy the bottle, you know what I'm saying, whatever, right? I would always say that for ladies, be very careful. I think anytime you accept free gifts, just know it ain't free. Now, being obviously in Ghana, the environment's so different because man don't want to splash cash. Now, of course, man are looking for something, by the way. But but you have to be very careful of that. You got to be very careful of that line. You got to be very careful of that line because there are a lot of women that will happily accept the free, not realizing the free isn't free. And you see, going somewhere like, for instance, like Ghana, right? You will see people again, right? Especially the big spenders. The big spenders, woo, baby. You'll see them again, right? If not in that, and he knows too, maybe not in this club today, but he will see you tomorrow. He'll see you in another club, okay? So it's a very dangerous line to tread when you're accepting free drinks from somebody when you're in a relationship. If you're single, then by all means, you can navigate that differently. But when you're in a relationship, I would tell you, listen, that free is not free. That free is not free. I would say, ladies, be very careful. That free isn't free. Okay? So I'll be very careful. That's not true. That's very true, Elsie, as well. It can be spiked and stuff like that, We've got to be very, very careful. Now, unless you go to the bar with them, then that's a different story. But yeah, you're right. Got to be very, very careful. It can be spiked as well. You know what I mean? Felicia said, even if you decline, sometimes it can be a feel entitled to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely hear that as well. Sorry about that. All right, cool. We're going to open the panel for the next hour or so. We're going to have a conversation. So if you are, and I can see Dahlia behind as well too, fantastic. If you do have an opinion on this, we're talking about flirting. Is it okay to flirt in a relationship? That's the question we are asking. And obviously there's some discussion around obviously this video, but is it okay to flirt with someone else of the opposite sex or even the same sex? I mean, but is it okay to flirt if you are in a relationship? I'm going to get your opinions, going to get your thoughts. We're going to open a panel. So if you want to have a say, you can click on the link, join the conversation. We'd love to hear you. All right, let me get El Cid and let me get Dahlia on as well. And I'm going to get you on. Hey, folks. What's Gucci? What's Gucci? How you doing, Dahlia? You all right?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to have you on board. What's your thoughts? Is flirting cheating if you're in a relationship?
I think it depends on your idea of flirting. Here's what I'll tell you. My parents are really interesting because I know for a fact, because my father told me this, my stepfather, he said that they were at a bar once and having some drinks. A man was flirting with my mother. My mother's a beautiful woman, so she's got people after her all the time. So there was a man who was flirting with her, knew that she was with my dad, didn't care. Like he sent over drinks to her. And I said, well, you didn't say anything, you have a problem with that? He's like, no, why would I have a problem with that? I was getting free drinks. I don't care that he was flirting with her. And I just thought that blew my mind because he had supreme confidence that he knew that my mother was coming home with him, that nothing was going to happen. Like my mom is entirely predictable. It's like, I already know that she's not going to let anything happen. And I'm right there. Like nothing's going to happen. So I think it depends on the kind of relationship that you have and what you consider flirting to be. I mainly wanted to come on here though, to dispel this notion that somehow most of these women are babes in the woods and they have no idea that this man is flirting with them. Really? A man buys you a bottle in the club and you can't tell that he's flirting with you? Stop. You know he is. You know he's flirting with you. You're accepting that, knowing that in his mind, at least, it means that you are reciprocating his attention. Whether you actually believe that or not is besides the point. You know that's what he's doing with you. So I don't like when women do this, when they play this game where it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I thought he was just being nice to me. No, you didn't. You didn't think that. Stop.
No, I definitely hear you. And to be honest, I wouldn't even disagree with your dad here. I wouldn't even disagree with that. And that's why Rico was saying the same thing. If I'm sitting there, hey, we're all drinking. You know what I'm saying to you? The question becomes, would you feel confident or comfortable if he's not there? Because if I'm there, I'm drinking it.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying to you? But if you're not there, then it might be a different story. I don't know. It might not be. But I'm just saying, like, it has a different connotation because if I'm there, I can regulate something that's happening. Also, I can see what's happening. You're not doing anything. But had your mum then got up and gone, well, I'm gonna talk to him, maybe he might not have felt this comfortable way. But mum's sitting right next to you, so she ain't gonna go nowhere. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe he might have been comfortable. He might have been, because like I said, there are men out there who are very comfortable and very solid. I'm not one of those men that are very comfortable, very solid, because I'm a bastard. Okay, I know. So I know where it goes to. So I don't know if that would be maybe different. Maybe I'm just saying it might not be.
That's a good point, and I do think that it has to do with the trust that you guys have built up over time. You know, by the time my dad told me this story, they had been together for a while. Like he could trust her because she had built up their reputation over a period of time. So, and he knows what she's gonna do. Like I said before, she's predictable. So it's not like he wasn't clear on how she's gonna act. But I think that if you got a relationship where you guys are not on solid ground, you don't really know each other like that. That insecurity is going to be there. And plus, if you're just an insecure individual, especially if you had that happen before in the past, you're going to bring that into whatever relationship that you have until you just deal and heal. So I think that comes into play too. And those are conversations that you need to have with your partner. You need to tell them, hey, look, I'm not, like you just said before, I'm not cool with that. So I need you to just chill out. I know you're a flirty person. I get it, but I'm not cool with that. And if you want to be with me, this is where I stand on the issue. We can revisit this sometime later, but as of right now, in this house, I'm not feeling it, and I need you to respect that. And I think that's reasonable to do.
I love that. Thank you. El Cid, what's your thoughts?
I have two things I want to address. The young lady who said every man wants to get with her or in her pants. I'm sorry, young lady, that is your ego speaking. Every man does not want you, and you have a healthy, bit of self-confidence, but there are some men who will refuse you. Just stating that right there. But the whole flirting thing, you need to define it, and you need to define what flirting is in your relationship. And I will say that because you can be seen as very friendly. You can be very gracious with someone and they think you're flirting. That has been my angst for a lot of times. Granted, my husband understands. He knows. He's like, it's not me. It's how the other person perceives your laugh, your smile, your engagement with them. It does not mean you're flirting with them. It means you're engaged and you're paying attention. For some people, just paying attention is enough for them to think that there's an interest. Yes, people do live in a land of Delulu. There's a lot of Delulu people out there. And you could just be like laughing heartily at a joke and no one else finds funny, they think you are interested. So while, I'm glad we have a relationship where he knows the difference with me being friendly and I won't even remember that person's name or the conversation 5 minutes after I walk away. But again, the person may remember you and come back like 10 days later. Hey, remember that conversation we had? I don't even remember you. Remind me. Hubby knows that's how I am, but that's the perception people have of me. Whether that's my, Aries energy, because I'll drop a person like a hot potato in a hot minute. But I'm sorry. It's not just what you're saying, somebody flirting. It is the perception of the person's behavior. And I, again, maybe the wrong person to talk about this because my grandparent, my grandmother, my mother, they were pageant girls. They have to be gracious. They have to be seen as friendly all the time. Are they flirting? No, they are not. But again, it has to deal with, one, the perception of your behavior. Now, it is ego. When I was single, my ego run amok. That's why this is perfect for dark arts. But as Dahlia said, the ladies know. We know if it's flirting and we know if we're flirting back. We know if we're open or not. We know if we're shutting it down or not. And we know some men have an expectation if you order that surf and turf. We know. So again, I'm with Dahlia. Some may be delulu because they're new to this, but majority of us know when a man is showing some interest.
I love that, Elson. I think it's always interesting as well because you're right. Perception is a big thing. I mean, I've been accused of flirting one time and I actually wasn't flirting, and that was their perception of the situation because I was smiling and I was attentive to the conversation. As well. So there is that aspect as well. So yeah, I definitely agree. There is some aspects when it comes to perception as to the way that people operate, and I think that can easily be lost. And like I said, I think a healthy jealousy is always powerful, right? And I say that a healthy jealousy because as I started learning about jealousy and envy, I started realizing they're not that bad. We just make jealousy and envy the most craziest thing. I'm talking about not the one that's obsessive and the one that turns into someone killing someone, but there is a healthy level of jealousy, which is that I may see you somebody and get jealous, and that's okay. I might get jealous, right? Because the question I really need to ask myself is, what am I seeing in that person that I'm admiring, that I'm afraid of, that yours? Because let's be honest, let's be freaking honest. If that goon is ugly, you ain't never gonna feel no way. If that girl was ugly, you wouldn't feel no freaking way. You know why? Because they're ugly. Okay? You wouldn't even it's when you think someone's competition that you start looking at a thing and go, was that flirting? Was that flirting? But if they're ugly to you, you don't even think about it. Like, well, even if you're flirting, you're not going to win. So I had to start looking at it too in another way, which is, am I comparing myself to the other party and I'm feeling some type of way about maybe an innocent interaction and looking at it as flirting? I'm talking about that instance. I'm not talking about the one where, me personally, physical boundaries are really important. If you're in a relationship, physical boundaries, okay? Because I know what men are doing when they start reaching their hand to touch your shoulder gently, like, oh my God, like, don't freaking play with me, nigga. You know what you're doing, okay? Take your hands off, because you know exactly what you did. Take your hand off that shoulder, sir, okay? You know exactly what you're doing, okay? And that woman too, that goes, oh my God, like she's rubbing your arm. Meanwhile, you know you've been working out. Oh my God, like, get your hands off of my man. That's what you go, because we know exactly what people are doing. They're breaking boundaries. Again, it can be friendly, but I'm a person that I like to lean in a way of, let's not play that game at all. I don't even want to give you an inch. I don't even want to even have a perception, because let's say it is their perception, right? But let's say that they have a perception that I'm thinking that I'm flirting. Let's say that it's not my partner. Let's say that they think they got a chance because they were flirting. And if I don't shut it down, if I don't let you know there's complete boundaries here, right? You go and try something. And by then it could be too late, because the appearance of evil can be what gets me caught out. Let's say you do try to then make a move, or let's say you do try to say something a little bit extra. Now I'm in trouble because you've actually said something that is ominous and obvious. So that's also a balance, I think, for us as well. Before you go, Elsa, I think Dahlia was going to say something, and then Elsa, you go, and I'm going to get Sam on. Oh, wait, sorry, Dahlia, you muted. My bad. Go for it, Dahlia.
Okay. No, I was going to say that last point about physical contact, that's a really good point. And I think the other issue we haven't talked about, but I've noticed this in my life, is that flirting, at least the perception of it or how you go about doing it, will change depending on who you're talking to, like culturally speaking. How I flirt with or how I receive flirting from a white guy, very different from a black guy. How I have it from a German man, very different from an American man. So that will also come into play as well. So I think that's something to be mindful over. As an American Black person, you know when another American Black person is flirting with you, because we're actually pretty direct people. We really don't do all subtle stuff.
Yeah.
That's not happening. I've never, in my 36 years of living, I've never ever seen that. With white guys, totally different. They're way more subtle. They're way more indirect. I've had to have other people come up to me and tell me, he was flirting with you, right? Word, he was, because it doesn't translate. So I think that's something that needs to be taken into account as well. And maybe that's part of the reason why people get their wires crossed, is because like how you grew up, your family history, your culture background, what flirting is going to look like, that form of communication, it could be totally different than your partner and how they grew up and how they perceive it. So now y'all have miscommunication and all these issues, when it's just y'all just have different backgrounds, and that's really what it comes down to.
Love that point. Elsa, talk to us.
I'm going to dispel your ugly comment, okay? Since we in the dark arts of it all, I want to dispel that ugly. You know you have seen couples together and you wonder, how did he get her? How did she get him? Why are they together? Because one of them looked like it was under your shoe. I will dispel that ugly rumor. You better watch the person you think is unattractive, because unattractive means what? Possibly they put extra effort in other categories that may be attractive to a partner. So you may see them as they ain't no competition, but their conversation game may be way above par. So you look at that person unattractive and you gonna be like, I ain't got no competition. That's when you lose the game, because you have misinterpreted or your assessment of the other player was incorrect. So I'm sorry. Don't let your dark arts blind you. I'm sorry.
That's a good point. Sam, welcome to the convo. It's good to have you on board, bro. It's been a long time. You know what I mean?
You're right, man. You're right.
Yeah, family. It's good seeing you. They're talking about obviously this, it's flirting, cheating. But I don't know if you wanted to obviously jump into what you've heard about this conversation so far, where we've got to, before you answer that question, and let me know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, no, I was just listening in, and can you hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good, man. Sound clear.
I was listening in, and for me with flirting, it's all about the engagement. The engagement into the conversation, how much you're entertaining the person, the level of entertainment with the person. Now, there's something that Elsid said about her laughing. Now, I know we say this a lot in England, but I don't know if it's in America as well. But we always say, be careful of the guys that are the funny men. Be careful of them, because you might think they're jokers, but the amount of women that are attracted to guys that are funny is not a joke. Be careful with them. So any man sees his girl laughing too much at a joke or something, blinkers already on. So literally, like, it's a thing where, again, it goes back to my original statement. It's the how much are you entertained? Oh, okay, I need to stop doing that because it keeps on popping up like that. How much are you entertaining the person? How much? It could be a laugh. You can have a laugh and then you realize, wait, hold on. Okay, let me just stop it right there. Because what Kojo said about if the person was, I wouldn't call them ugly, but let's just say less attractive to you. You know where your boundaries are straight away. You know where your boundaries are straight away. So let's just say somebody that you do find attractive, and you don't have to do anything with them. You do find them attractive, is busting jokes, saying couple lines. You're going to entertain that a lot more than somebody you do not find attractive. Let's be real here. So it is a fine line, because, and I had this problem with women before where it was kind of like, you know they're flirting, but you can't call it out because they can easily retract. And same with men as well. There's men that will flirt with women and they will easily retract and say, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything. But
that's me, boy.
But there is a fine line between being friendly and then flirting. And the way I look at it, I look at the engagement. How much are you entertaining the person? Because again, if you find the person less attractive, the entertainment will not be long at all. If you find them attractive, it's a different story. And yeah, flirting's cheating.
Yes, Dahlia, go for it. Oh my God, I like where the conversation's going.
No, Sam, you're on point, because my stepdad, again, he was saying the same thing. He said, if she grins, you're in. That's the saying. Like, if you can make her smile, you got her. I mean, it doesn't, because what you're really doing is you're basically switching up tactics, trying to like find weak spots in the armor. Like, how can I get her to let her armor down? That's really what it is. And it's like, okay, so I can't get you on looks. So what can I get you on? I'm gonna get you on charm. I'm gonna get you on humor. I'm gonna get you on competency. It's gonna be something that I can do that's going to make you feel like, okay, I'll give him a shot. Because I've seen women do this before. I've heard my family and friends, I've heard them say this, like, well, I mean, he was all right, but I mean, he was so sweet to me. He was paying my bills. Whatever the case may be, it's always going to be something. So this idea that like the ugly guy, that he's got no shot, that's dead in the water. No, what really hurts you is if you're ugly and then you also have like no skill set whatsoever. You one of those poor little victim types who's just like, woe is me. Like those kind of guys, they get no play. But if you're funny, or if you're charming, or if you're just like relentlessly ambitious or whatever, yeah, you're gonna get play. There's gonna be some kind of way that you can get this girl to give you the time of day. Guaranteed.
Sorry, just want to say just quickly, Dahlia hit the nail on the head there. It's you trying to poke her or his armor to see where the weaknesses are. Because as soon as you see a weakness, boom, I'm going for that. I'm going for that. That's my play. I'm going for it. Brilliant.
Careful of that armor. Because trust me, I was, and I quote was, the one who will give you the laugh, who will give you that grin, because I know you're looking for it. I know you think that's your in, but guess what? The bear trap is set up to catch you, not me. It is set up to catch you because that's what you're looking for. Because that's the playbook that y'all have passed around during adolescence, and y'all don't think a woman knows, but we do. And we will use that playbook against you when it's to our advantage. So I will smile and I will grin, and then I will leave you where I found you, and you will be left there with your head spinning, wonder what happened. What happened is you met someone who has outmatched you. So yes, keep on talking about this, the laugh and the grin, but keep in mind, you are not in this predicament with someone who is unaware and who is unintelligent. So do not again think that your quote unquote opponent doesn't know what you're coming with and what your game is and can't flip it on you.
Now, Elsa is very interesting, right? Because she is, I like to call, an exception to the rule. Because she spends a lot of times with the guys and knows the game inside out. Okay, so Elsa's commentary doesn't exist for most people. I'm sorry, for most women, it doesn't exist. Okay, because Elsa is a dark shooter. We don't include her in the statistics. She's the anomaly on the chart where you see the X and everyone else is normal. She's on the far side of the X. We don't include Elsa. Elsa, am I lying? Am I lying?
I was raised around dudes. I have tons of uncles, but I do have aunts. But I cleave to listen and learn, because what I was not going to do was be played. And if I know that is my quote unquote opponent, I'm going to learn everything I can about you. And since I was raised around you, you can teach me. And I do have some of the mannerisms. I do have some of the, as you say, the masculine thought process. But, I'm an anomaly because of the realm you're in, but I know quite a few women like me. So just be careful out there.
So, like I said, Elsa is an anomaly, and there are other anomalies out there. Okay, all right, they're anomalies. In most cases, there are people like Elsa. I meet people like Elsa, and that's. But then here's my thing. See, Elsa also, it works two ways though, right? You see, because whilst you know my game, right, and you are able to play the game, it's sometimes the game can backfire on you because it's perception based, right? So if your partner, of course, your partner is cool. You already said that your partner's really cool. But let's say your partner wasn't as astute and as okay as that. Whilst you're here thinking that you're trying to play that other dude because your mind is focused on that dude, you've forgotten you got a partner. So the game gets lost anyway. So I'm not saying that if you're single, you're fine. But if you got a partner, maybe that is not necessarily as astute or as aware of the game like that, this can hurt your partner, even though you're like, no, I was just making... How are you going to explain it? Well, I was trying to outplay him. Oh, I mean, so you're trying to outplay... What do you mean you're trying to outplay him? You're trying to outflirt him? What are you trying to do? It wouldn't play that way, but because your partner is really cool, it does work. But I'm saying to you, like, that's why I said the game is rigged. It should just be stopped. There should be none of that, I'm trying to outplay you. Because I know that if you're trying to play me and flirt with me, and I've got a partner, I don't even want to play the game with you. I don't even want to entertain you. I'm like, no, you're a danger to my relationship. And I don't need... Also, I have to think about myself, which is... The Bible says, no man after the flesh. I don't even want to know myself after the flesh because I know that giving myself an opportunity Hey, I may be strong today, but tomorrow I may not be strong. You know what I mean? I can be a fool at a point. So for me personally, I don't even want to play a game. But I'm saying to you that I understand what you're saying, Elsie. But like I said, you are on the X side where there's a few other X's. But when we do the statistics and we put it all together, we talk about you're the anomaly and the rest of the general population follow route. You know what I'm saying to you? Yes, Elsie.
But I won't, you see, I don't play those games in a relationship or married. I don't. But that's why I said what I said earlier. I may laugh and chat and speak to someone, and they may see it because it's attention as flirting. I'm just being gracious. I'm just being nice. I'm just being kind. There is no end game for me other than walk away and not even think about you ever again. But it's the perception on the other party. But no, you don't play these games when you're in a relationship or with someone else, because turnabout is fair play. Would you like your partner to be whatever behavior you're exhibiting? Please be okay with your partner doing the same. And if you're not, then you know that is behavior you should not be entertaining or engaging in. But no, I can have a perfectly calm conversation with someone right there in the grocery store, and it could be seen. I have had this with my husband, and he's like, the person thought you were flirting with them. I'm like, no, couldn't be. And he could tell me this is how they perceived it. And that kind of engages me where I know I'm not. But he's like, that person took it as such.
Love that. Simon, do you want to jump back in?
Yeah, no, I was going to say with Elsid, I understand Elsid's point because I have met a few people that I like Elsid. But I always say, and it goes back to the point of what Elsid said proved my point. You're not going to entertain it further than what it needs to be. Because as you said, Elsid, you're going to walk away and forget about the person. So it's all about the entertaining the person. How much are you entertaining the person? Because if it goes overboard, that's when you're going into the realms of what am I doing here? what am I doing here? Like, and this is where this is dark arts, right, Kojo? This is dark arts.
Yeah, you can get dark around here, Tez. Release the game. You get me? Feel free.
Obviously, I'm a man, and I can see it on a man's side. It really works when you know the woman hasn't had a father figure in her life. Now, you... so bad for saying this.
You have to say it, bro. You have to say it because it's the truth. You have to say it, bro. Because it's real.
To be honest, like, there's a lot of guys, and I've done it when I was younger myself, and you've seen the opportunity there. Because a certain woman hasn't had real love from her father, this, that, and other, and you feel like you can manipulate that situation, even if she doesn't even find you attractive, you can manipulate that situation where you seem like the perfect guy. You seem like the guy that she always needed in her life. You see like the guy that she needs at the certain time that you were there for at that time. Because one thing about it is that there's people, men included, but women on the side, is that, how would I describe it? If somebody had saved your life, there will always be a little place in their hearts where they have a soft spot for you. So no matter what, if a guy or a woman has done something really big for you in your life, even with certain things where you have messed up, there's always going to be a little soft spot in their heart for you. And that's a soft spot that you can penetrate. And again, as I go back to the point, it really works, especially flirting with women that haven't had a father figure in their lives. And it also works on the other side as well, with guys that have low self-esteem and stuff like that. So, yeah, dark arts, I had to say, I feel bad for saying this, but it's the truth.
No, bro, listen, you released a Kraken on a real thing, because this is if you really want to help people, right? Like, this is why I said about, I think I did a video a couple of months ago about that when men are going after women, it's targeted. So you have to understand that you are a target. Like it's if you want to be real with it, it's a real target that mandem are, and so this is why I say that what you're able to do is explain what the mandem are actually doing without actually explaining it. So when you meet a lot of mandem who do this kind of stuff, they will not be able to explain to you what they're doing. They don't actually have the articulation or the ability to explain it to you. So they just do it. But what you're explaining is the script that's running behind. A bit like how many of us can use something that's the interface of something, but do not know how to write the script. I don't know how to write the script for most things. I don't know how to write the script for anything, but I know how to use the interface, right? I can use this right now, StreamYard, but I do not know the script that runs behind it. If it breaks now, I won't know how to tell you how to do it. But what you're explaining is a script that runs behind things, because again, this is why we're saying that fathers are so important. This is why, again, that when I look at certain channels about men talking about women and them choosing, I'm looking at you going, well, you an issue too, because if we don't actually play our role accordingly in a household, this is what ends up happening. Right? Mandem are choosing women and knowing that there's a weakness there because of the way that she looks at you, the way she operates with you, right? So you're absolutely right. That's a major thing. I remember some time back, I said, and this is another thing as well, because you have to be very, as a woman, you have to, this is why shutting down things is important, because you don't know 100% what that person's really on. For instance, anybody, and this is not everybody, this is some people, I'm going to match what you just said, bro.
Go on, say it. Go on, say it.
Holy Spirit, I mean this in the right way. So, like, okay, so I like to call these people endangered parties. Okay, they are unprotected parties. Okay, that are in danger. Okay, all right. Here's some endangered parties. Single mothers, endangered parties. Okay, you're an endangered party. Doesn't mean that you can't defend yourself. It means you are on the list. Right? This is why people, because they're seeing the vulnerabilities. Okay. I'm gonna say this. I don't know about other faiths, but I can only talk about Christians. So I don't hang around other faiths. Christians, y'all are on the edge. Okay. I like to say Christians on the edge are those of you, especially if you're on your celibacy journey for at least a good 5-10 years, whatever they talk about, you on the edge. Okay. You're endangered species, and I say that because again, it is about what the person may want or desire and being able to feed into that. And that's why I said flirting is a gateway. It is not, you don't even want to flirt with that, especially if you're somebody who's trying to be abstinent or celibate. Don't even flirt with it, because honestly, it will catch you so quickly before you're on the edge. And I'm saying this because when I came out from Egypt, everybody I was messing with was a Christian on the edge. It was not non-Christians. Yeah, because we all have the same idea. Nobody wants to get caught and go to church tomorrow. We all have the same secret. You keep my secret, keep my secret. We're all good. You know what I'm saying to you? Christians on the edge. You know what I'm saying to you? I call them COTE, C-O-T-E. We're Christians on the edge. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm releasing that to say that if you're somebody who, especially if you're of the faith, don't even flirt with it. Don't flirt with it, because it will catch you. It will take you out before you know it on the edge. Now, Dahlia, I know you want to add something. Go for it. Talk to me.
Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off what Sam was talking about as far as, wanting to be, really targeting like specific groups. This is what I meant when I said that when the so-called like little ugly guys, when they're flirting with you, they're really trying to probe at those soft spots. This is what I'm talking about, because you're basically kind of trying to figure out how can you tailor yourself to fit into that person, figure out who's going to actually match your energy, or at least who can you hook. It is not even, and this is neutral, by the way. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but if you want that predator vibe, if you want to hunt and you don't really care who's getting hurt, you can really hurt somebody doing that. And you're right. There are people who are vulnerable and they don't even know it. And I can't remember who said this, who was talking about this. I don't remember what pastor I was listening to, but they were talking about like the practices of wolves. And they were saying that if you actually study wolves, the animals who they go after, they don't go after the strong ones. They go after the elderly, they go after the injured, they go after the young, and they go after the isolated ones. So you don't want to be part of that crew. And I think in the same way, to your point, Kojo, it's like you really need to know who are you to the people that you're hanging around. And it's like, okay, who are you allowing to entertain? And on top of that, what kind of madness are you entertaining? Because sometimes they'll try you with like little sentences, just little throwaway lines just to see what they can get away with. And it's like, if you don't say anything, or if you laugh about it, that whole you green, you win is part of that too. It's like, okay, well, you laughed at this joke that somebody else would have said was offensive, would have told me to get out of their face. But you laughed at it. So I already know you weak. So I'm going to keep on hammering in that particular area because I know I can get you. You're a weak one. Got him. So that's something to consider too.
Go for it, Elsid. It just got dark. Go on.
Oh, it's about to get darker.
Oh, God.
Let's continue where Sam is leading us, and I will, my dark arts past.
That's right.
We talk about the lady who does not have the father in her life. I will let you know the men who don't have a good relationship with their mother, or unfortunately no longer has a mother around. Let me tell you, Dahlia said about wolves hunting. That used to be a sweet meat, let me tell you, because those men don't even realize or how to handle no longer having that woman in their life. They are lost. And you know how it is that the men, it's hard for some men that I know to ask for help, seek help, to get themselves out of that whirlwind place where they just don't have their footing. So what are they looking for? A woman who is that anchor, a woman who has that motherly tone, a woman who wants to nurture and help take care of them. So again, while we do say that, and that is a usual trope about the woman who doesn't have her father in her life, trust and believe it is deep, just as deep with those men without a woman in their life that they have a good relationship with. I'm just saying.
Nailed it. The sweet meat is indeed. Also, would you say that, would you say that just because obviously I think when me and Sam were describing men, there is a predatory aspect in terms of there is an understanding that you can see the prey and know how to target that same prey, whether it's different people. Would you say it's the same for the women then? Would you say that women that maybe, for instance, looking at may know the type of men to go after, would it be the same way, or is it more or less an opportunistic kind of situation, would you say?
I mean, we want equal opportunity, so it can be seen as predatory if she is going after him for only a certain gain. Okay? If she's only going after for a certain gain, she knows how to hunt. Maybe she makes herself look like prey and make him think he's the hunter when he is not. A lot of men like to think that they gain the woman, and it's like, no, you fell into her trap, buddy. You just didn't feel the floor open up under you. But you think it's love. But okay. It can be predatory, or it can be for, again, mutual gain or understanding. But yes, women can hunt as well. Don't forget lions. Who goes out and hunt for lions? The women. The women hunt. So again, don't underestimate us. Don't think we don't have that skill set. Many of us may have been lost from the tools of that skill set, but there's some of us out here who still know or knew that skill set and how to hunt.
Can I just quickly say, I agree with everything else it said. This is why we have the word simps in the world, because that's what some women do. Look for the simps, because they will think that they're trying to catch a woman of their dreams, yet the woman has trapped them to do her bidding, practically. So yes, I definitely agree with what Sid said. But yeah, no, going back to what I was saying is that obviously I'm a man, and Coach was a guy as well, so it's kind of like we know what we do to try to manipulate situations. It's a little bit like what Nick Cannon said. Now, I disagreed with everything Nick Cannon said, but in a sense of when he said to that Dr. Bright, I think her name is, when he said, I even will act like a Christian to try and get a woman. That's it. The reason why I agreed with it is because it's true. We a lot of men do that. We try to act like something to try to make us look a certain way in front of the woman to get us an advantage, just to get us an advantage. Now, again, when it comes with the whole territory of men are looking to probe at where, and it's Dahlia said this as well, men are looking to probe at where the weaknesses are. Because really and truly, yes, men would like to go for the woman that looks uncatchable. But if we see somebody that's prodding along, it's just prodding along with us. Yeah, okay, I've got one on the side here. And I specifically say on the side here while I'm trying to catch another one over there. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yes, the whole thing about flirting, and this is why I believe it's cheating for me, and this is why I wouldn't agree with it even if you're in a relationship, or even if you're trying to stay abstinent or celibate. It's a compromise. You're compromising yourself. And once you open the door to compromise, what are you going to open the door to next? It's not as easy as you just closing the door when you start flirting, because you're now like you're dropping boundaries at some point. Like your armor, just think of it as an armor. It's like you're taking chinks out of your armor so that the arrows can actually come and hurt and wound you. So it's about compromise. If, as Koji said, if you just shut it down, it's never going to happen. If you just shut it down, it's never going to happen. But if you just keep on flirting and you think it's an innocent flirt, you don't know where that's going to go, even if you think you're in control.
100%, bro, and I definitely hear you on that. I think, and I love the compliment. I mean, I love the point about the compromise aspect, because it does become that, right? It's one of those areas I think in your life you just don't want to play with it if you don't want to end up in that situation. But obviously, we're all human in it. So at the end of the day, and that's why I said that anybody can get got. You know what I'm saying to you? Which is why if I'm in a relationship, I wouldn't even play with it, because anybody can get got. You know what I'm saying to you? I may feel like I'm in control today, but tomorrow I'm flipped. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And here's my thing. While I was in Egypt, certain people that I encountered, listen, there were certain people that, I connected with on a regular basis. There's some people I only connected with once. I only needed once, my guy. You know what I'm saying to you? I only needed once. I didn't need it several times, bro. I needed it once. You know what I'm saying to you? Because what happened is the person would have been like, no, I'm not on that. But as you start talking and I'm acting on the devil's time, right? And you allow me your space into there and you allow me to act as the devil's time, at one point you may find yourself weak and give in to the temptation. So I'm just waiting at the door to knock. And when that door opens and you're like, hey, and I'm like, can I come in? And usually you say no. And I'm like, today I can come in. Now I'm settling in. Now you know where you don't want to, where you're somewhere you're like, actually, how the hell? Well, this how the hell is because you was out here flirting with danger. Don't flirt with it, right? Which is why I'm saying in a relationship, I wouldn't even give an inch, because I know that it's only an inch that's needed. I mean, sorry about the innuendo there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you might need more than an inch, but God forgive me. But like again, so you have to turn it off. See, sometimes turn it off. It's just sometimes it's there. And so that can easily fall into something, which is why I don't want to even play with it, because I've lived that lifestyle, and because I've lived that lifestyle, I know that even just accepting something can cause you damage. Not maybe today. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week. Maybe it's next year. The fact that person even has your number and still can call you and even get a little bit of your breath, it's dangerous. I don't want to even let you have the breath. Like, don't even, you know what I mean? So, and I think also when my last point on this, I'll pass it over. My last point is that once someone drops an innuendo, and that innuendo doesn't even get far, but once someone starts flirting and you don't shut it down, do you know the relationship can't go back to where it was before? Like because that relationship now got to a certain point, it can't go back, because either the party who then realizes like, well, I don't like the fact you took it back. Like, I don't want to play that game. Like, I'm gonna push it even more now. Like, now you say no, I'm gonna try and see how far I can push it before you actually say, don't talk to me ever again. So maybe today I go, okay, I'll push it back. I'll come back in a week's time and see where I've gone. I might talk normally, and then I'll drop her something a little bit a week later just to see if it will go somewhere. Right? And now I'm going to be consistently testing, because now here's a point, and this is why it becomes so dangerous. Once it gets to a point where you allow me in a little bit, right? Because the backwards is kind of awkward, there's only forward progression I can go forward, right? But if, let's say you say at a point when I push it a little bit and you stop me and say no, I'm like, all right, cool, right? If you then allow me more room to keep on talking, right? It's also partly an agreement. So it's just almost like a silent agreement. It's like, I know I shut it down, but I'm still open. So keep pushing. Because really and truly, once that person crosses a boundary, they should be like, my friend, you got to go. You know my rules? You got to go. And I mean that for people in a relationship specifically as well. But of course, if you're trying to be celibate and thinking, probably don't play with that person. Let them know one time. And let them know. But yeah, if you let that person flail a little bit, yeah, the coming back is really hard. I can't lie to you. Almost impossible now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know if Dalia also wanted to add one to that. That particular space.
We changing numbers?
Yes, okay.
We gotta change numbers all the time?
No. But I'm talking about just in general anyway. Not like someone gets your number from a conversation, but you may have some people that are close to you. You know what I mean?
So you can't just block people? Or
You
just
can.
not
I'm not saying you can't.
or not
I'm not
answer the
saying you can't.
phone?
But they're
You
not.
should be.
And that's the question. Why aren't you blocking people? You're giving them access.
If they have access to technology, they could email you, they could send a freaking pigeon. But the point is, do you respond? You have no control over another person's behavior. They could be showing up every time you have the friends outing because they were a friend of a friend. But you don't have to respond. So again, my thing in that instance, Kojo, the onus is on you not to respond to them knocking on the door.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm agree with you. I'm saying that's what I'm saying to you. Don't even entertain it. Yeah, I agree with you. 100%. It's on you because you're the one in the relationship. Whatever. Don't even give them an inch. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm agreeing with you, by the way. I'm saying don't give them an inch. Yeah.
But an inch is based on perception. So.
Yeah, but the perception is also based upon. Should I don't even say based upon, but I would say like one should be aware and try to be perceptive of their perception. So if they're making compliments, I mean, certain points, you might want to just start perceiving what they're perceiving.
As the chat is saying, I think it says communication. You have to clearly communicate. This is not it. This ain't never going to be it. And if you try it again, you're going to have problems. You got to clearly communicate. And I am one for not mincing words, as you know. And I have not minced words. And you've got to tell them. But I know it is not always safe for us ladies to not mince words with men in certain instances. Saying no can get us into, tough positions. So that's why we sometimes flirt our way out of things. So we say flirting could be entertaining someone. Sometimes we flirt to get out of tough situations, giving people hope so we can skedaddle in another direction. So I know we're using the flirting and we've been talking about it being open, but sometimes we flirt to try and close the door.
Is that a flirt though? Or is that you? Is that a flirt or is that you? For instance, like if he says, hey, I want to sleep with you. Are you like, well, I want to sleep with you too, but I'm trying to get out the door, skedaddle. That's completely different. I think if you say, hey, that's lovely, and that's not a flirt, that's you trying to get out. That's like you are not responding to a flirt. You know what I mean?
Here's this.
Yeah, go on.
Here's this,
go
and dark arts time, serious dark arts. There could be times where you think you're in a position that is innocent and you're not looking to sleep with the person. Yeah. But maybe you tell them, hey, let me go, why don't you go down to the bar and let me get ready, to entertain you later. Give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes. Come back upstairs at this time. That gives her an opportunity to hit the stairwell and get the heck up out of there, or to call someone. Or if you go into the bathroom, say, let me go into the bathroom. Sweetie, sit right here. Wait for me. You go there in the bathroom and you call your emergency contact to get you the heck up out of where you are. It could be a restaurant. It could be someplace you just don't feel safe. So there is flirting to get out of tough situations. Not always, but there is.
But would you be in that position in the first place if you had a partner? I think if you're single, that might be happening. But if you're in a partner, would that be a situation that would normally happen?
No, it wouldn't be in a situation normally happen, but I can't say that it wouldn't happen to someone. Like if somebody sends you a drink If you accept it and you're, as we said before, it could be spiked and you're not in your correct faculties, you don't have possession of your behavior at that time, I could see someone being in a position where they'd have to try to think to get out of it. So no, it is not that position when you're in a relationship at all. But there's some people that, it may end up being in a relationship and doing that. But again, it is definitely, as Nikki just said, is rough out here for some ladies. It's like just smiling at a gentleman across a bar may be seen as entertainment. She may not have even been smiling at him. She may have been smiling at, oh, that cocktail that girl got looks really interesting. And you find yourself in a position where somebody's sliding up next to you at the bar. And how do you get out of arm's reach? Sometimes you don't even see a guy's got a girl's arm and you don't see or notice. And then you don't want to have, altercations in close proximity. As I said, difference is, the anomaly I am. I know how to fight. I know how to get out of tough situations, self-defense. I've been taught that stuff. To say I haven't been in a position that I didn't think I'd get out, I'd be lying. But again, I know there are times when flirting can get a lady out of very tough situations.
See, I would agree with that, right? Like I would say that obviously in terms of like, I don't even know if I can even call that flirting, because in that particular aspect, at that point, you are trying survival mode. You are trying to get out of a situation. Like it's like when women say, I have to take his number because he can be scary. I can understand that. Me personally, this is not. I'm not going to challenge you on that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen crazy niggas before, so I'm never going to challenge you on that. It is again. That is understandable in that perspective, right? But if you for instance, you're out with your man, and this guy's asking for your number, your man is around the corner. Listen, let him sort it out. Let him be a man about it. You know what I'm saying? Come and get involved. Don't take his number tonight. I had to take my number so it wouldn't end in a fight between me and him. Well, it can end in a fight later on anyway. So, my friend, just invite your man and say, no, my man is just right there. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I've rarely seen a woman go, my man is right there, and then for him to go, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to knock you out. It rarely happens. It rarely ever happens. But obviously, when there's a man not present, I'm not saying, but it rarely happens. I'm saying if there was a man not present, I can also understand that. You're alone, maybe with your girls. That is a different situation. There is a physical dynamic, which is only you and that guy. You don't have any male friends around you. It's understandable that you take his number to block it. Yeah, that's understandable. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, here's my thing. Don't take his number, then be like, when he calls you, be like, I had to answer the call. No, block his number, because that's going to cause issues. Yeah? Block that number. You know what I mean? But yes, I understand that part. I wouldn't even call that flirting, but I understand that perception-wise, if someone's watching that, they may think it as flirting. Here's what I would suggest. If you are in a relationship, go and tell your man that happened. Because if somebody saw you, you can't and you come out later and like, I was scared, that's why I didn't do it. It ain't gonna fly. I'm sorry. Nobody's gonna believe you. Because why you just, you're gonna put yourself in a situation. So yes, if that does happen where you are stuck in that position, I understand that. Sometimes you got to give a fake number. Sometimes you even got to give a real number, because sometimes they're standing right there and they say, let me call it right now. I can understand that again. But you're blocking that person after. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, we're blocking them. So that for me personally, I totally understand. I think, I wouldn't even class it as flirting, but I get what you're saying in the context. That does make sense as well. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I personally wouldn't classify that as flirting either. To me, in my mind, when you were talking, I was thinking, "Oh, that's fawning. That's literally fawning, like how there's fight, flight, freeze. There's also fawning. I've done that before, where you're just, you're trying to like keep him nice and accommodate him until you can leave. I think that's a reasonable solution. I would never classify that as flirting, because in my mind, and I didn't watch the first 20 minutes. I don't know if you discussed the definition of flirting, but in my mind, flirting is that's tit for tat. You're going back and forth with somebody else, and it's an even exchange. It's positive, and you're walking away of your own regard, feeling good about the exchange, and it's voluntary. So what you're talking about, Elsa, I don't think is that. And I also feel like it kind of pulls away from the focus of the conversation, because the conversation was about, is it cheating if you're flirting with somebody and you have a man, right? So that the situation that you're naming wouldn't even be classified as cheating. That's just you trying to survive.
Understood. But we also need to flip it and see the gentleman's side. If they're in a relationship,
your man, you mean?
Yes, if you're
Okay.
your man or significant other, and since Kojo is the only gentleman on the panel right now,
Yeah.
you know, is his flirting or what is perceived to be flirting, is that cheating?
Yeah.
Because we're saying, on the flip side, as you said, your stepdad said, she's coming home with me. We know that's not happening. So what behaviors from your gentleman is going to be acceptable? Or
Great
is
question.
flirting cheating? Because we know men are visual, because then you looking at something could be seen as the beginnings of cheating. So please enlighten us, Kojo.
Listen, I already told you. Listen, I'm quite militant when I get into a relationship. You guys have seen me for the last 4 years. I've been single, so you've witnessed that, right? But when I'm in a relationship, I think the beginning of 2020, when I got into a relationship, you'd have heard me mention my girl, my girl, my girl. I don't like playing when I'm in a relationship. I don't like doing it. So even the smiling, I don't like to smile too much. I'm just gonna be honest with you. When I'm in a relationship, I smile a little bit and then I'm out. I like to keep conversations kind of short unless it's about business. So if you're talking to me about your personal thing, I'm probably going to cut that conversation short, because once again, I just don't like to have that. I like to be militant, because for me personally, I don't want no one to have any cause against me. Now, had you caught me 5 years ago, 4 years ago, when I'm in Egypt or whatever, 3 years ago, even just last January, caught me in January in Egypt, yeah, you'd have got me, because I don't care about flirting and I don't have a girl, so I'd have done it. But for me personally, and you'll see it. If I get into a relationship, you'll see it. Because I don't even like you getting too close. Because my thing is that even proximity of closeness, for me, unless I know you, is too dangerous for me. It's like I don't want you to get any ideas. I need you to be strictly understanding that we are platonic. So you'll see it. When I hug you, my hip is going into your front. I don't want to hug you face to face unless I know you specifically and I know your intentions are completely cool. But if you're new to me, I'm not doing anything different to try and, you know what I'm saying to you, because a lot of that stuff, and I can say it only for me, I can only say that for me, I'm very much aware of the motivations as to why I do things. I know my own ego that plays. So I know I know what ego moves I'm making, right? I know when I see you and you're talking to me and I think you're fine and she's giving me energy, I'm probably going to give you a little bit more time. Nah, I'm not. I'm sorry. Is it about business? If it's not about business, you want to tell me? Are you telling me about your boyfriend? Because that's what I don't understand why we're having a long conversation. Because unless it's business and networking and a proper thing, and here's my also other thing as well, is that when there is a business network thing, I'm going to be telling you. So I do need to speak to my partner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna have a real deep relationship after this existential, if you've told me it's strictly business, I will be introducing you to my partner, because I don't want to play. Again, I don't want to play this game. I know some people are really comfortable with that and being on their own, but I remember my uncle, my last word on this, my uncle said something. He said, he's a prophet, and he was saying, listen, and this is time back. He was like, listen, my Facebook, my Instagram, all my social media outlets, my wife has them. And listen, anytime they reply, if I see any woman reply, I show my wife and I say, baby, look what's going on. So that's how, and when he said it to me, I said, he's right. Because me, I've behaved in a way, I've been very secretive in the past, so I know what it looks like. For me, I'm then open. It's like, I don't even want to play that game. If I see a message that even looks ominous, you know what I'm saying? If you say, oh, you look nice in that photo, you're not even going to reply. I won't even reply. I won't even like. I won't do anything. I'll just leave it where it is. Baby, look at what they're doing. I don't want trouble. That's just me personally. I'm very militant about it because I don't want to give myself any room to move mad.
That is just like my husband. We have each other's phone, password. Well, I couldn't care less. You could go through everything. You could go through every social media that I have. I do have a follow-up question then, because I have found myself in this particular situation, and I know it's because of the gentleman in question. It's not with hubby, but gentleman in the past. As you said, with your lady friends, and I'm sure you have lady friends that you have grown up with, and y'all have been through fires
100.
Together.
Yep.
And now you have a girlfriend in the mix who may not necessarily understand the relationship and the dynamic. It's not flirting, it's just y'all are, really close friends. So I have certainly been in a position where my buddies that I have grown up, we've been, from from Pampers through puberty, through adulthood. And the gentleman in question cannot understand the dynamic of our closeness. So how have you navigated that in a relationship? Because as you said, the hug, you know, if you hug, like, let's say, even though we've been talking, the way you and I'll hug ain't going to be very friendly because we have not been friends like that. And I'm sure you have very close female friends.
Yes.
How have you navigated that with the new young lady who needs to understand that dynamic and not look into it as flirting or anything untoward?
Yeah, I love that question. That's a really good one. First of all, I don't flirt with my best friend anyway, so it's a normal behavior anyway. Of course, you know, you compliment each other, but that can be looked at as a certain type of way. So I also understand that. I think first and foremost, it's also, for me personally, there are always particular boundaries that I've never adhered to, even when I was single. For instance, I've never slept in the same bed as my best friend. I just never did it. I just said to myself that I want to make sure that I'm treating this as the most respectful way. And because it doesn't matter whether I'm trying to move to you or not, I want it to be that fact that if I say this to my best friend, there is nothing that someone can say to me like, oh, you guys did no. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want any of that. So that's number one, right? Number two also as well is that when we have got into relationships, when we both got into them, we actually have told each other the rules already, right? We don't record them past 9. It's not necessary. Don't need to message them. We'll wait till the next day if we want to message you. You are no longer the emergency contact because that person has got a partner now. So emergencies not necessarily go through me anymore, or doesn't go through them anymore. Another thing also for me is, again, I'm very particular about my physical boundaries when it comes to women around me anyway. So things like, you know, like you can be cute as friends when you're single, innit? Like someone might put their legs on you. I don't like that kind of stuff, personally. I don't like it. It's too comfortable for me. I don't like that kind of stuff when I'm single, and I don't like it when I'm in a relationship. So it ain't those kind of things. You're not putting your legs on me. You're not going to be sitting there hugging me. I don't do any of that stuff. We're not sitting there cuddling when I'm single, and I'm not sitting there cuddling when I'm in a relationship. So I've treated the single period as if I'm in a relationship. I just don't want to do any of those kind of things. Even going to, and my friend knows as well, even going to certain places, I told her I wouldn't go with her. Not because I don't like her, but because I don't want those places to be associated with you. I want it to be associated with somebody who I'm in a relationship with. Like, there's certain places, and they're not even crazy places, just maybe like even let's say even going to a particular tourist attraction, maybe in a city or whatever, right? I won't go with you. Not because I don't like you, and this is me personally. I don't want my first time going to be with you. I want it to be with my partner. I want it to be somebody who I'm in a relationship with. Because now everything I've done is with you. And you're a girl, you're not a guy. And it's so different. There is actual rules, and there is certain ways that we have to operate. So I don't want to play that particular game so that you can get involved that way. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I just don't want you to get the wrong, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. And I don't want that aspect to filter in. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So things like that. It's just holding very firm boundaries in that aspect that I'm very conscious of as well. And I think, I think that's pretty much it. It's just them kind of things there, you know what I mean?
And I wonder, based on what you said, and thank you so much for sharing the male perspective, I have found in my interactions with people that those of us who have had long-standing platonic relationships with the opposite sex has, one, either higher boundaries, or we're more vocal about our boundaries because we know how it could be perceived. So I have wondered with that. But out here in these dark arts too, you don't just look at the gentleman, Kojo, because the ladies are out here flirting with your lady. Do not, you see, you have some major blind spots, my friend. Your blind spot was the ugly dude, and you are not looking at the ladies talking to your lady. There are some people in here that don't just swim in one pond and don't just keep it to one section of the universe. So the flirting potentially can happen that way too.
She's not wrong.
Don't miss them Pilates classes. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dahlia.
No.
I'm getting some water. I'm still listening.
You raised a good point. So I only have one friend who's of the opposite sex, and he's actually my closest friend. And like when Kojo was describing his boundaries, I was nodding my head along because that's what we do too. We have to because we want to be respectful of any outside relationships that we have, but also keep in mind that we're still a man and a woman, and I feel like human beings have this tendency to pretend like we're superhuman or something, that our brains are capable of compartmentalization in a way that it's just not. And so when you're talking about sleeping in bed with somebody or maintaining physical contact with somebody, it's like you are ignoring the fact that God designed our bodies a certain type of way. When you have those bonds with people, when you engage in like physical connection with somebody, your brain doesn't know or care about the fact that this is your friend. All it knows is I'm touching on somebody else who's of the opposite sex, and I'm attracted to the opposite sex, and it feels really good. And you're gonna start getting that flood of hormones that help bind you to that person. And I for whatever reason, we like to just kind of ignore that stuff happens. I think that those boundaries are important so you can maintain those friendships and just let it be friendships. The kind of relationship that you have with your partner should be the kind of relationship that you have with your friend. And that's part of the reason why. And I think those boundaries that you were talking about, Kojo, are important. Let's not just ignore that part.
Yeah. Listen, and I'm not even judging anybody because I know some people have slept with their best friend in the bed. Listen, and nothing's happened. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I don't even want to even give an inch. Okay, all right, because I don't want even. I've never had that thought, so it's not something that's crossed my mind. I don't like to put myself in predicaments and any kind of thing to even test it. I don't need to test it. You know what I mean? This is one friend that That's why I said that I don't have women friends. This is one person who is an exception to my rule. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is a godsend. So it's not a rule that I put across the board like, oh, this is how I treat all my female. You're not my friend. And most people are not my friend. I'm acquaintances and I'm good and cool with you, but you're not my friend. Because number one, I shouldn't look at you like that way. I shouldn't even have a sniff of that energy towards you. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? You should see off the jump how I treat that person, that there is none of that stuff going on. You know what I mean? And so I like to make sure that's an aspect. Other people I cannot say the same for. You know what I'm saying to you? I cannot say the other same thing for the other ladies that may be around, and that's why they gotta go. Okay? Because when I'm in a relationship, you gotta go. Because I can't lie, you a little bit too close, and we got a little flirt thing going on, and that's not appropriate for me to be in a relationship, and you have a little flirt thing going on. Why well, I gotta go? No, you gotta go. Bye. I don't have to talk to you anymore because I don't want that situation. But with my best friend, none of that's ever happened. So I'm confident in, and I think also for me, my last point on this, and I'll pass it over, is for my own conscience. Because if anything ever happened with my best friend, I will never trust a woman who has a best friend as a man. Because now I know that if I can do this, there's no way I can trust you. So I don't want to even think about doing something. I don't even go close to it so that I can trust other people, because if I can't trust me, I ain't going to trust your ass either. So that's why I don't do it also as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go for it, Dahlia. And I know Sam want to jump in after.
I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'll be done. So just to kind of respond to some of the comments in the chat, I understand that there are people who don't think of their friends in like a sexual manner. I get it, but also people tell me a lot of stuff. I'm a secrets vault. They tell me stuff because they know that I'm not gonna spread their business around. I know for a fact there's some people who have very good friends they've known for years, and they were in a weak spot in their relationship. They're crying on their friend's shoulder, and then they looking into each other's eyes, and then they gave into each other because you let your guard down, because you already know each other in an intimate way on like a friendship level, and now you're in a weak spot because of whatever argument that you had with your man or your girl, and you're talking with your friend, and your friend is doing all the stuff for you that your man is not doing, your girl is not doing, and then now y'all sleeping together. It happens all the time. This is why I was saying, like, you do have to have some fairly strong boundaries with friends, just because you want to maintain that friendship and you don't want it to go past that point. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like that stuff doesn't happen. So to make sure I mitigate against that with my friend, because I don't want it to be more than just a friendship. It's like, okay, for me, I got to have these certain boundaries in place, because I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like that stuff doesn't happen when I know for a fact that it does. That's it.
You're mute,
Sorry,
Cody.
my bad. Thank you. Yeah, no. So Sam, I don't know if you heard much of the conversation. We just had this. We kind of pivoted a little bit, but I don't know if you want to have your say on that or.
No, Elsa in the chat said wanted to answer that question. What was the question that you wanted to
Oh
ask?
yes, ask him. El said yes. Ask him.
Oh, since Kojo was the only male perspective, we had him on the hot seat. The question was, if you have a longtime female friend that is strictly friend, and you have your new relationship, you know, how your banter and your communication with your longtime female friend could be perceived as flirting by your new relationship. How do you navigate that?
Well, I've actually been in that situation before, and I learned a lot from it. Now, I always flip it on myself. If a woman has a a guy best friend, how would I feel about it? How, if I look at the dynamics, what will make me feel uncomfortable about certain things? So, I think especially when I start dating again going into marriage, I think it's more of, let me just put it plainly like this. I think it's more of the conversation that I will have with the best friend that I will say, I'm gonna have to be real with you. Certain things will have to stop now. I'm not gonna be around you that much because I've got a wife now, or a wife to be now. Certain conversations can't happen because really and truly, all of that when I was single was all cool and stuff, but now I'm with another person and I have to take account of the other person who I say I love's feelings as well, because we know each other. She doesn't know you. She might know a bit of you, but she doesn't know the dynamics of, as a friendship, what we had before. So things generally do have to die down. I always say when you get into a relationship, certain things have to start floating away because of the fact that you're in in a relationship with another person now. So the friendships that you had before, certain friendships you can keep in touch with each other, just see how you lot are doing and stuff like that. But I'm not single anymore. Like, I've got somebody else that I am taking priority for. So when I get into these conversations with people, I usually, especially when it's the woman and they have a guy best friend, I usually say, first of all, do you talk to that friend more than you talk to your man? Are you talking late nights to that guy? And it's vice versa. It's vice versa. So yeah, it's just about it's compromise, and it's just about what's it called? It's about compromise, and it's about just taking into consideration somebody else's feelings. Even like it's mad to say, but it's kind of like, how am I going to put this in a sentence? Because sometimes you might be feeling like you're treading on eggshells, but it's, think of the worst, so you prevent it. Just think of the worst so you prevent it. So if you, even in your spirit, you might just be friends with that person, but if there's certain things that you are doing that you might be thinking, should I really be doing this with this friend? Then that's conviction, and you might have to hold back, and you might have to pull back. But generally, when you're in a relationship, these friendships, yes, you can still keep friends 100%, but you're gonna have to grow out of certain things. You're gonna have to grow out of certain things.
I definitely hear you on that, bro. And I just think to myself, like, yeah, like you said, bro, I don't want to ever to be feeling in a situation where if I saw you have a male best friend or whatever, right? I think of it as, what would I look at that I would be uncomfortable with? If I'm uncomfortable with that, I never want to put you in that same position. You know what I'm saying, Chi? So if I think that this thing I'm gonna do be uncomfortable, I wouldn't do it. Like, for instance, obviously, like, if you know me, like I've said it before, me and my best friend, I always buy her a wig on her birthday. It's just custom. That's what we do. I'm single, so I always buy her a wig. Now, if I had a girl, and my girl was like, listen, I don't feel comfortable with that, I would be like, babe, I don't mind even stopping it. It's even saving me money. It's not a problem. If you want me to stop it, I can stop it. It's no problem. I'll stop the transfer now. Like, for me personally, you know what I'm saying to you? Like, that for me would change, right? Because again, like I said, like there are certain things that come into play where certain gifts can look a certain way, and I'll be like, cool, I'm not gonna continue doing that because again, like I said, I want to respect the fact that. And here's my thing, also, my friend also knows as well, right? When I get a girl, she trumps you always in everything. If it comes between you and her, who I'm gonna believe her. So I don't care about my years. The reality of the situation is that person now is my immediate party. And if I'm thinking about marriage minded, even if I'm not getting married, even if I haven't got married to those previous exes, my thought process was, at the end of the day, this person is a party I'm in a relationship with. I may have known you for 10, but if she tells me this is the truth, I have to go with her truth. Because it's a person because if I don't go with her truth, how does that set up my relationship for future? I'm in a very dangerous place. That now your word trumps her word. And I want to marry her, then what am I doing? Do you know what I'm saying to you? So for me personally, again, of course, it's within context because there are going to be certain situations where there may be something that she may have said. Like, let's say she said she saw her out and she was cheating. Okay, then maybe I have to ask the question. That might be a different perspective. But if it's between you and her word and your word, I mean, I'd be, besides certain contacts and nuances, I'm going to take her word over it, or I'm going to take her side over it. You know what I'm saying to you? Because I don't play that game. I'm not going to, do you know how vexed I would be as a man that you tell me you take your boy's word over mine? I would wreck the place up. But you're right. I will wreck the place up. So I can only imagine how insulting it would be to even think that I should take her side over your side. Let me be a mumu, yeah, but let me choose my missus first, because if I don't, the other side is even more worse. Nah, I'm not gonna have that situation. So I'd rather just take her side and be cool with it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? You know what I mean? If you're my friend, again, there are certain instances, like things like maybe she saw my girl cheating or creeping. That's a completely different situation. Now I've got to be smart about how I'm going to question my girl. Maybe I have to see in discrepancies. But if there's something else, nah, bro, you're like, baby, you know I'm going to take over my partner's truth over yours all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't let my birthday be on the same day as yours. I'm going to choose my missus.
I had another one of those questions for you, Sam, that you missed. Since we started off with the ladies flirting, we also put Kojo in the hot seat as what behavior is considered flirting for a man who's in a relationship.
When does the show end, Kojo?
After your answer.
Because there's a whole list.
Go for it, bro. Take your time, bro. Take your time. There can be an extended grace around here.
I mean, I'll be quick with it, but boy, that is a very broad question because with men, it's when is it considered flirting with men? Was that the question? When is it considered flirting with men?
Right. We're usually roasting the ladies, and I want to make sure that y'all feel the hot coals as well.
Yeah. No, it's the question for a man is it's kind of like what the guy said before in the previous clip before Kojo said, where obviously they were comparing it for women it was business, and for men it's just anywhere every day. It's just something like, and it sounds bad, but when it's considered flirting is when, how would I put it? They're trying to gain something with their flesh, with a man. They're trying to gain something with their flesh. Now, women can flirt to gain something which is like materialistic things and stuff like that. With men, it's not like that. I wouldn't really see any man trying to gain something for flirting with materialistic things, unless he's got a sugar mama, something like that. But even in that, there is some fleshly things that is going to go on there. So it's trying to please the flesh. It's trying to have access to please the flesh if they don't have access anywhere else, or they want multiple options to have access to. So usually you get guys that will say want to take you out to places. As soon as a guy wants to take you out to a place, yeah, don't don't entertain it. Also, to a point where if he wants to buy you a drink, now I always say to women, listen, you know what you're doing when you're accepting a drink, because listen, women, you're not stupid. You're not stupid. Sorry, I got my words mixed up there. You know what the man wants, and he's trying to test your resolve with that certain little thing that he's trying to get you. Even to a point where, like, I remember this, and people who are from England, they will know about this. Our culture's just left, but we have grocery stores like Tesco's, Asda, stuff like that, or I think for you guys in America might be Walmart, or just like any grocery store, and you just buy these little cheap flowers that they sell at the front for the woman, and because of the sentiment to it, because of the how would I put it, the little thought behind it, men can buy flowers for you, and if you fall for that, I've got you here. She likes, what's the thing, what's it called again? Gift giving. When they start saying love languages, is it gift giving? I think it's that. Yeah. Oh, she likes that. Cool. Let me just keep on with that. Or if it's a thing where, like, he's talking to you and you're in a bad place right now, and he's the only one that's been there for you. It's a point where he's trying to gain something with the flesh. He's trying to get into your pants, unfortunately, because for most men, I won't say all men, but for most men, is trying to please the flesh. So he will even wait for a year, 2 years. Just keep on prodding, just to see where. And also, by the way, it's not just you. It's like 10 other women as well. There's 10 other women. So again, as I said with the original question, I was saying it's quite broad, but it's for a man to please the flesh. He for sexual morality, really and truly, he wants to please himself. So he will go into flirting just to see where he can access that. I hope that was, because it was.
Oh yeah, so it's not just an ego stroke for the men.
Say again?
It's not just an ego stroke.
Oh no, it's not. It's not just an ego stroke. It's part of it, but there's other things to it as well.
They want your body. Listen, I hear it. Yep, we do definitely. I definitely hear that. We do. I mean, yeah. I mean, when I was in Egypt, that's what I was wanting. So, and I think when we do, I think I'll be back next week as well. Yeah, I will, because I'm not anywhere. And I think the second part of this video, when they talk about, is actually accepting gifts, that's a whole nother conversation in itself about accepting gifts from people, because we can talk about accepting gifts, we can talk about accepting services from people, as well, whether that's an issue if you're flirting, you know what I mean, because that can also be something too. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that we can talk about, right? But I think, especially when it comes to flirting, I think it's an interesting conversation to have. I personally think that the Bible has a great example. Just, the appearance of evil. Stay away from the appearance of evil. It just helps everybody, helps you, it helps them, let everybody know. You know what I'm saying? Too, like, I think the rule that someone had is, like, if you're a pastor, don't close the door if you're counseling someone. And I said, you know what? It's a very good rule. Let me not close that door. You know why? Because everybody can see into it. Because I'm not going to do nothing if that door's open. You know what I mean? All right? So, again, it's like that. It's don't go to places alone if you know that you got a partner. Why am I going alone with you? Unless my partner knows who you are. And even then, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, unless it's actually a business, something, or whatever, I want to be able to limit as many of those occasions, to cause any of those interactions. Because, you see, sometimes it's not even about the flirter who's flirting with you. Sometimes it is about you and where your weak spots are, and whether you're going to allow yourself to fall prey to the issue. And if you're somebody who, and I think this is for a lot of men, but I think, and this can happen to women too, but just for the men, I think if you're somebody who, you have a past of just slaying women, you don't want to be opening any kind of door for any nonsense. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, someone might say they have great self-control. Let it be them. But as for me, in my household, okay, all right, self-control starts before I even get there. I'm not even going to be there. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not even going to be open to that situation. And that's what I mean. I want to be very militant about it. Because again, like I said, I just think to myself, there's no need to even entertain any of that nonsense. Because the very thing that we're talking about here, flirting, this thing, is what the music industry does to people. It will flirt with you the same way. When they want to tie you into that devilish contract, they don't just put you into a devil party. That's what we'll talk about later on tonight about a certain person. You know what I'm saying to you? Your butthole doesn't get taken straight away. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah? Old boy flirting with you. Yeah? Yeah? And he's testing to see, right? Get you closer and closer. Before you know it, now you're compromised. Right? So it's the same effect. It's like, don't give the person even a foothold. Don't let them even have a stench or whiff of you. You know what I'm saying to you? You can't even smell my perfume. That's how far you are from me. You know, all jokes aside, but it's just, again, appearance of evil. So last thoughts before we collide, because I think later on we are gonna talk about the Diddy thing a couple of hours later, probably about 12 o'clock UK time. So it'll be about 7 o'clock for the Americans. We'll talk about the Diddy situation later on. But what's you guys' thoughts before we finish and exit? Love your final statements and thoughts. Dahlia be laughing. Why are you laughing, Dahlia?
Because Elsa over here trying to flirt with me in the chats. That's why.
Gotta watch out for them girls, she said.
Okay, so my final thoughts, because I didn't actually answer the prompt. No, I don't think flirting is cheating, but I do think that is the gateway, kind of like how weed is always a gateway for drugs, apparently. Flirting is a gateway for cheating. Okay, so I'm gonna flirt with you, see if I can try you, see if you're gonna let me try you, and then if you a weak one, I'm gonna see my way right on through. I don't care if you got a man, I don't care if you got a girl, whatever. Like that's not my business. That's your problem. So no, I don't think that it's cheating, but yeah, if you know you got weak boundaries, shore them right on up, and if you know that it's your partner's got a problem with it, learn how to be respectful, have a conversation about what they consider to be cheating and what they don't consider to be cheating. And to me, in my mind, cheating is giving to somebody else what rightfully belongs to your partner, whatever that looks like. That's cheating to me. Some people would say that flirting rightfully belongs to the partner. For them, that is cheating. I don't, but that is my personal definition. And you need to have a communication between you and your partner on that. So that's it.
Love that. Go for it, Sam.
Yeah, I respect everything Dahlia said. What for me, cheat. I'm playing cheat. For me personally. Yeah, no, it's, as I said before, it's about that compromise. It's kind of like that question: why are you looking for? Why are you actually searching for questions that you don't want to know the answer to? That's me when you were flirting. You don't know where it's gonna lead. You feel like you're sure of yourself, but you might have one day where you slip up. It's always that saying of prevention is better than cure. So just don't do it in the first place. Close up your boundaries. Whatever you need, you're weak at, just strengthen it up. Don't entertain it. For me, if I have to flip it around, if my girl is doing that, I'm gonna feel aggrieved by it, so I'm not gonna do it. So any chance of that happening, I'm just gonna have to walk away from it. And as it says in the Bible, run from sexual immorality. I'm gonna run from flirting. So I know what I'm like, so I'm just not gonna give it a chance. And also, and probably Kojo, you will speak about this another time, but you can really understand where you can understand people's weak points with their I guess with their love languages. Like for most women, I'm not gonna say for all women, their love languages are acts of service, gift giving, and words of affirmation. With men, it is physical touch. But I'm not saying that's all women, but that is the generality with men and women, and that's where you can get most people when it comes to flirting with certain stuff. But yeah.
Oh, Sid, go for it.
In all that we have talked about this afternoon, it's about communication. Communicating. You may communicate that may be seen as a flirtatious matter. Your communication may be received as flirtatious. You got to communicate with your significant other as to the boundaries of behavior in the relationship. And you will see these behaviors and acceptance of these behaviors while you are dating. So you need to pay attention. They will give you cues or just bring up the subject plainly. I am for plain, open communication. If you see a situation has happened before, ask your partner. If you're uncomfortable about something, talk to them and say how you feel. Do not be, accusatory. This is for gaining information and learning behavior. So in everything here is about communication, perception of communication, and don't go out here in the wild with blinders on where you are going to miss sight of, certain boundaries or certain things being, people poking at your, shields. Just be mindful and be just open. Just be open and honest and communicate and be receptive to receiving it, because you may not have been flirting, but your partner perceives it as such, and open that to conversation and maybe behavior changes.
Now there's some inordinate flirting going on in this chat. That's why I tell you this now for sure. All right. But I'm single, so I can do what I want. Okay. I'm slippery like. Anyway, so listen, anyway, we're going to love you and leave you guys. Listen, I want to say this first and foremost. I want to say this as well. I was in Atlanta and I found so many baddies in Atlanta. I just want to say this. I love my boy James. I love you, bro. But listen, I was in Atlanta and there was so many baddies. I'm just going to say this now, okay? Too many baddies from left to right, okay? Baddies everywhere, okay? Everywhere, okay? Everywhere.
So Atlanta is in Egypt.
Atlanta was a part of Egypt. I can say that for free.
You need to talk to your friends. They are.
It was an
drowning
extension.
right now.
I know they're drowning. I've supported them. I said, listen, bro, I've got your back in the support. You know what I mean? In the background. You know what I mean?
What I was saying is that just watch out for Houston, but just don't ever go there.
I was in Houston. What do you mean? I was in Houston, baby, and it was even madder.
You were.
It's crazy. I'm even so sad I've come back to the Lord. Lord, forgive me, but I've come back to the Lord. But I'm even sad I can't go again. Houston, what? Houston? Hey, the baddies are baddying. Oh my days.
It's bigger down
What?
south. They weren't lying.
The biscuits are biscuiting. What?
I'm trying to be consecrated as I sanctify to the Lord.
I'm trying to be consecrated too.
Quit while you're ahead, gentlemen. Quit while you're ahead, because
you know what? I'm flirting with danger.
You don't mention certain cities, you might not be welcome. Quit while you're ahead.
That is crazy, but I hate what you're saying still, but I'm gonna tell you straight. Listen, we'll have a discussion about another day, but yes, there was some beautiful
members live roasting your friends.
Listen, yeah, they're going. Maybe I can invite them to see they'll come through. You know what I mean?
Hey, members live, members live.
It might have to even be the 100 club, because that's too dangerous for even members club. But listen. I appreciate you guys. Honestly, it's been a good conversation as well. This live will stay up on the Dark Arts podcast channel, not on the Little Black Book, so you won't see it again. So, but we'll be back on Little Black Book later on in a couple of hours' time to discuss the Diddy situation. So if you do want to have your say, it's going to be an open panel conversation, because I really can't. Can I be honest with you? The way I'm seeing everybody report news every second about the Diddy situation, I'm tired. So I'd rather do an open panel where everyone can come and say their thoughts and their feelings and do it once, rather than doing video after video after video. And I know it's a business strategy, but I'm sick and tired of seeing Diddy on my screen. Like, I see him on everybody's video. Everybody's got something to say about Diddy. And it's like every second they've got 4 or 5 videos new in one day. Like, how many times can we report Diddy in 4 or 5 days, baby? Yeah? That's too much for me. Okay, so I said, let's do an open panel. No shade to anybody. Let me do an open panel. Let you guys all get in, and come and have your say as well, and let us know your thoughts as well. Okay, all right, people. Appreciate you guys. Love and peace and hope, and we appreciate y'all. Stay safe out there. Don't flirt too much now. All right, cool. Appreciate you. Say lots, say loaded.